As much as I'm a professional juggler, I'm also a professional Diaboloist. I do Diabolo in every show, normally 2 shows a day, plus the technical stuff, which means I get through quite a bit of Diabolo string because I do quite a bit of stuff with the string around my neck, which gets it very sweaty, and I really don't want it to get tangled up on stage, so pretty much every single show that I do, I want a fresh string on my Diabolo. Also, I have a spare set of hand sticks as well, which also has a fresh string on too, and I always used to just take a reel of Diabolo string with me, oh that's empty, a reel of Diabolo string with me, and then cut it just before the show, replace it. But I was always having to cut it and get a lighter to melt the end, or a book of matches what I use to melt the end, and I'm really annoyed with that, having to do that all the time before my show. So earlier this year, or last year, I decided, well, I'll just cut them all in advance, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cut the exact length of string so I can always carry around exactly the amount of string that I need per gig and not the entire roll. So let's do this. First up, I need to get the length, and I always get the length from the previous string. Sometimes it's a bit longer, sometimes a bit shorter, pretty much always around about the same length. I'm not that an amazing diabolist that the length matters to the closest centimeter. Anyway. Okay, the way that I tie the knots is a little kind of slip knotty kind of thing, which fits in the end of these Henry sticks really well, but it means that actually when I undo the knot, I can undo the knot without having to cut it, so this is exactly the right length that I need. So let's get on with this. I just need to run it down here. Whoop. So that's going to be the length that I need. So I'm going to cut it slightly longer, because then when I melt it, it'll get slightly shorter. All right then, so let's just keep doing that over and over. So I'm already to the end of that roll. The good thing is, I don't just have one roll, I have a second roll. What's this? I think this is 75 meters or something. So this should last me a long time. I'll do another 10 or so. And if I use 2 strings per gig, that's another 5 gigs worth. Which should last me the next few months. Whoops. The 2 tools you need for sealing the end off is a lighter with an extended part, because this is going to be on for quite a long time while I do this to seal the end off. And I don't want it to get too hot where my fingers are, and if you have a lighter where your fingers right near the flame, it gets a bit uncomfortable. The other one is a bit of a towel that you can just squash the end down, so when it's hot, you don't want it to get too much of a lump at the end, so if you just squash it down like that, it keeps it flat, like the 2 lines parallel, without having a lump of melted plastic at the end. Maybe you can't see that one, so that's quite straight there. And so yeah, that's that end. Now the other end, quickly. Melty melty, pull straight out. So that's it. Now that one's got a little bit of a, not sure if you can see it, a little bit of this little bit thing sticking off there, and so I'll just snip that down, and that's a good one there. So that's one. Here's the Diabolo string all ready to go. How many did I do there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 15 new Diabolo strings there. And what I always do is actually I use the strings that I used in my show, the previous show, for training and the tech run before the next show. So I'll leave them on there, and I'll put the new string on this one. And the way that I know which ones I've used last is because this one I put a bit of tape on one of the hand sticks. Here, no tape, and the tape is literally only there so I can remember which ones that I used last, and which ones I pick up fresh for when I'm doing the tech run. So let's put a new string on here. Henry's hand sticks, Henry's string. Henry's string is the only string that I've used which doesn't bind up. Do a little quick overhand slip knotty kind of thing. It's weird to do it. I don't even know why I tried to show the camera when I did that. And that little slip knotty thing goes straight in there, and because it's a slip knot I can undo it. Next time I want to take the string off. Henry's hand sticks are my favourite, and I really like the ones with the green handles because they go with my green Diabolos. So there we go. That's ready to go. This one I'm going to save for performing, and these ones I'll use for training. Just remember the white ones is for the performing. Of course, for the next gig, I will need another 2 strings, so I'll put them aside. And these ones I will leave here at home and have them ready to go for my next gig. I'll just take the number I need for the next gig. It's way easier to just take 2 spare strings on the next gig rather than a whole roll that I don't need. And I can buy bulk because I don't have to carry this around, just these 2 strings. These will go back in the case. And I am ready for my next gig. Oh, the glamorous life of a professional juggler preparing for a work trip.